Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marjaniyy here and Emir. Today we're going to be talking about
the welcome to university and what to expect when you are arriving. So we're going to be talking about preparations, what to expect when you arrive, what to expect after you've arrived as well, things that go on during the welcome week, and what you need to be prepared for coming to university if you're arriving for the first time.
So let's start from the things to know before arrival. I think we can start from the things that once you have already enrolled to the university, you should know what to pack, what to bring with you, and etc. So right before arrival, just check with the university all the details that are listed on the website and that was sent to you, whether you need to bring your documents with you or you need to bring some special things with you. For example, in my university, we need to bring our documents, not exactly all of them that you have already submitted. In my case, I have brought all the documents with me because I live quite far away from Aberystwyth. I live in Turkmenistan, which is I think it was overall 10 hours flight. And I'm not going to be traveling back, right? So I just brought everything in case anything. What about your university?
So, Glyndwr University is very similar. Make sure you've got your documents with you, especially if you are an international student. I would say make sure you bring as much as you possibly can, just to make sure that everything happens as flawlessly as possible. If you are a home student, so if you live around the UK, you may not need to worry so much about all things, but try and bring as much as you can as well. You will need to bring some sort of identification with you, so passport, driving license or something like that. So that's a very important thing to bring with you. Make sure you also bring your tenancy agreement with you and that you've signed it off and that you know that just so that the accommodation know who you are when you are arriving.
And also another thing that once you arrive, about your documents, once you arrive as a foreign student, you need to proceed to some checkouts. For example, me being an international student, I needed to go first to meet the immigration office, but I didn't have to go to specific area. The immigration office came to my university, so we had specific dates to just check out that we have arrived and everything is safe, and also to receive BRP. BRP is the thing like student visa for us. So there is a visa inside the passport and also another type of visa that we receive as a card. After that, we needed to go to police station and just register there. Meanwhile, we needed to make some payment. I'm not quite sure about the price. If I remember, I will just type it down somewhere. And also another thing to know that my university was meeting students at Birmingham Airport, and I think they was meeting students from some other airports, but they wasn't exactly going there. So the university, since Birmingham Airport is quite nearby to Aberystwyth, they were going directly there and meeting all the students there. And I think the price was about £20+ for the trip itself. And you needed to pay in advance for that. And it was quite easy. They were meeting us. They was helping with absolutely everything, with suitcases, just with overall procedure. Because once you never been in Britain, right? And you just don't know what to expect, where to go, and everything. So it's quite good that somebody has met you there.
For Glyndwr, I am not 100% certain. Once again, I don't know if that system is in place because I've not used it. I wouldn't have needed to, but I have been asked to work on a similar system where it was from Liverpool, because Liverpool Airport and Manchester Airport, I think it was those two airports actually. Those two are the closest ones to Glyndwr University. However, if you are an international student and you're going to Manchester, Liverpool or Birmingham, there are trains that do take you from those airports to Wrexham, and I know that trains from Birmingham also go to Aberystwyth as well. So there is a good public transport link to the universities regardless of if that service is available or not. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is there and it is available to you if you need it.
But I think it's still quite reasonable price because students are coming by bus with the help of university. But if you will be going by train, it's going to be quite tricky because some of my friends, when they were just arriving to my university, they tried using the train. And at some point, they needed to change different trains because of there was points you need to change. And I don't know why, but suddenly they needed to change double more trains than it was supposed to be. And they were traveling at night with so many luggages. Just imagine how hard it was.
Yeah.
When I met them, they were like, oh, I hate this place because we had to wait there so long.
I have an obsession with trains, so that I think should be a topic for another video. But yeah, I know what to do when it comes to changing trains, but I think that might be a topic for another video when it comes to it. Yes. So I think we should leave that at there for that one.
Yeah. So the next thing is what to expect during the welcome weekend, welcome week, and etc. In Aberystwyth University, there is a special team of students. It's called A team. They're wearing the red shirt, and it's like there is written A team and etc. So they go around the campus and around the accommodation of university, and they just make sure that students know where to go. They're guiding them, answer their questions if they have any, and also for the whole week, they keep on helping people. So it's quite helpful, I would say.
We have a very similar system in place at Glyndwr as well. We call them student ambassadors. You'll notice them wearing fluorescent yellow, so you can't miss them. Basically doing similar things. They will meet you at the accommodation, because the accommodation is about a 5-minute walk away from the campus. Yeah. It's not quite on campus, but it's quite near to the campus. But the team will meet you then at the accommodation, or they can meet you at the accommodation, and they can take you to services such as the enrolment area, show you where that is, show you to where the main building is, show you where the main reception area is for when you're going to your lectures for the first time as well. And they can also tell you a bit more about the university as well, because most of them have been students for quite a long time, so they will know quite a lot more about the university. So if you ever want to ask them questions and you want an honest answer in return, the student ambassadors are there to help you.
What about online services? Does Wrexham University provide anything before arrival?
We do provide a checklist of what you can or should think of bringing with you. Effectively, what we say is don't bring too many things. It's sort of that phrase of everything but the kitchen sink, which a lot of people tend to like to bring with them. Try to be as condensing as possible if it is at all possible. There's a lot of things that you should definitely bring with you, so make sure you bring bedding with you, make sure you bring pillows and stuff with you. Anything that will make your stay at the university as comfortable as possible. If you do forget anything though, don't worry too much, because there are shops very, very nearby. You've got an Aldi and a Sainsbury's about 5 minutes drive away from the accommodation itself. They're very easy to get to, very accessible. And Aldi is pretty much the shop that all students like to go to because it's very cheap. So you don't need to bring everything with you, because there are shops nearby where you can just buy some things last minute if you need to. So don't worry too much about that. As far as online services go, I don't think we have a service where you can order things in and you have them there when you arrive, sort of thing. But because we have the shops very nearby, then we have those already, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I agree. Just don't bring too many things. But, in my case, it doesn't really work that way, because I always bring so many things just in case anything. And I was even bringing quite a thick woolen blanket, because I know I'm quite sensitive to cold. So I needed to just be sure that I won't be feeling frozen every time here.
Yeah, if you're considering coming to Britain, just make sure that you bring enough clothing to keep warm. Even as Brits don't like the cold,
exactly.
And we have to keep up with it for about 364 days of the year. That one day of summer we do get, it's always too hot. So don't worry about it.
I even brought some summer clothes. Can you believe that? And they were just staying there. I'm not even wearing them, any of it.
Summer clothes in Britain, that's an oxymoron and a half there, I think. The important thing to bring, though, is always make sure to bring with you a box of tissues so that your parents have a way to cry themselves on the way home, because it'll be a very difficult time for them leaving their precious children at the accommodation once they leave. So make sure to bring a box of tissues for them as well. That's a very important thing to bring.
And yeah, as of online services in Aberystwyth University, they do provide this service, Click and Collect, I think it's called, where students can just order book bedding stuff, and it will be brought to their accommodation before the arrival date. So it's quite convenient, I would say, and the price is reasonable. I'm not sure what was the price, but for the 3 items like pillow, blanket, and some of the bedding, it was quite okay. I would say it didn't much not much cheaper, but still a bit lower price than in town.
As for things that you should not bring with you, if you're considering bringing your pet hamster with you, don't. You're not allowed to do that, I'm afraid. You will not be allowed to bring your pets with you. The only exception is if you need to use a guide dog, which you are allowed to bring with you, but you're not allowed to bring pets or domestic pets with you to the accommodation. So if you're thinking of bringing Freddy the goldfish, you're not allowed to do that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we also have a checklist of what to bring and what better not to bring, because it's quite hazardous items.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you check all this list, because university will be sending it to you directly to your email.
Yeah, the checklist is also quite a similar thing with Glyndwr as well. We do have a checklist of things that you should consider bringing with you as well.
Yes.
To the university. And there's also things which you are not allowed to bring with you, which is also included on that list.
In Aberystwyth University, we have quite different types of accommodation. And I think it's maybe about 10 types, if I'm not mistaken. So it depends on your program you're studying. So, for example, they have different dormitories for undergraduate, postgraduate, well-speaking students, and self-catered and just catered places. And it actually depends on your program. So just before the arrival, you can check everything on the website, and it's written directly for like self-catered, catered, and all these details. And I would say that the lowest price of the accommodation is about 85 plus pounds per week. That is the lowest price, and what you expect is just a room and a sink in that room. And there is a shared bathroom and shared kitchen. And the highest price, if I'm not mistaken, it was about 135 pounds per week, and that was ensured, which means that you have bathroom and kitchen inside the room. So it's quite helpful. And about the accommodation types in the town, they are a little bit cheaper priced. But since I never lived there, I don't know exactly what prices are there, but I know that it's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, very similar to Glyndwr as well. The only exception is the university only has one type of accommodation, unless you're studying at another campus, which I'll mention in a moment. But at the main campus, there's only one type of accommodation, and that's the Wrexham Village accommodation. That is ensuite. So all the rooms have a separate bathroom, but it's a shared kitchen facility, and it's all self-catering. That one costs £115 a week for the 2020-21 academic year. For the other type of accommodation, that is specifically for students studying at the Northup campus, which is mostly things like the equestrian sciences and stuff like that, which they do at Northup. I don't know what the price of that one is off the top of my head. I think it's in the £85 to £90 per week range, but it's a shared bathroom and shared kitchen and self-catering. And that's specifically only if you are studying at Northup and you spend most of your time up there. Though the most students typically go to the Wrexham Village accommodation, as there is a bus which takes you from the main campus to the Northup campus as well. So there is that also available. And that's actually a free service. That bus is a free service.
Wow, I didn't know that. We have it quite separate.
Yeah, we have... most things are done on the main campus anyway, so most students will be going to Wrexham Village accommodation anyway. So that is probably the best accommodation I can recommend for you. There are private alternatives. There is one in the town centre. It's called Snowdon Hall, I think it's called. I don't know the price of it off the top of my head. I think it's a little bit cheaper, but the facilities they provide are not as good as far as I've heard from students who used to live there. But it's also about 20-minute walk from the university, so it's not ideal. The Wrexham Village accommodation is a good 5-minute walk from the university, so if you've got a 9 a.m. lecture and you're running a bit late, it's not a huge issue because you'd be in your lectures within 10 minutes. There are other private renting options as well, where you can actually rent your own house. That's typically an option for second and third year students, but I've never used them before. I've only been staying at Wrexham Village personally. There are private renting opportunities available as well. Prices of those vary, but the university does have a portal of the renters that they recommend for students to go to if they want to. So that is something to look into as well.
I think it's quite good to mention that the prices for the university accommodation include utility bills, and also they include sports center. And in sports center, you can use any type of gym and like swimming pool and some other things. But if you want to enroll to other societies and clubs like kickboxing, football, etc., you have to pay additional price. And also, we do have one more facility for the university accommodation is that for nearly every type of accommodation, there is a specific lounge for students where they have computer rooms and also study rooms. So you can just go and do your things there.
At Glyndwr, I don't believe we provide a sports centre membership. There is a sports centre on campus, and I think students get a discount, but you do not get free gym membership with accommodation, I don't believe. As for other facilities, the price of the accommodation at Glyndwr, the Wrexham Village accommodation, I think this also is the same with the Northern one as well. All utilities, bills, Wi-Fi and all those things, they're included in the price, as well as a TV license in the kitchen, not in your room. So
we don't have it included.
Yeah, there's a TV license included in the kitchen, so the kitchen TV, that is covered by your accommodation price, but you would have to have a separate TV license in your room if you wanted to watch things like the BBC or live TV in your room, that is specifically.
And actually, guys, if you'll be interested more about the accommodation type, I will be recording a video of different accommodation types in Aberystwyth University soon, and I will be just posting it to my channel, so keep an eye on that. So another thing is that once you arrive and you're already settled down and everything, make sure that you go to all the appointments and all the meetings with your supervisor, with your department, and all the compulsory things. You don't want to miss that.
Same at Glyndwr as well. You don't want to be missing that on the first day, on the first Monday of Welcome Week. You will be guided to the main reception area where you'll meet a group of people there to help you. They will guide you to where you need to go depending on which course you're doing. So if you're in computing, they will guide you to which room you're doing. If you're on engineering or any other course, they will guide you to which rooms you should go to for the first meeting. And be sure to take part in the activities throughout the week as well, because there are activities going on throughout the week of Welcome Week with those specific courses as well, so be sure to take part in those. You may also, depending on the course that you're doing, you may also get a student ambassador meeting you at some point during that first day to give you a campus tour. I know of this because I've actually done them myself in the past. So you might actually get a campus tour from a student ambassador on your course, and I've done it for computing before. That is something that does tend to happen sometimes. It depends on the course that you're doing, though.
We do have campus tours and library tours as well. And in case you missed the specific one that was sent to you, you can make a booking of another tour. So since we're still talking about the weekend, the welcome weekend, welcome week, etc., I think it's quite reasonable to mention that there is a freshers fair. And even in one of my videos about Aberystwyth, I have shown that, how it looks like, and etc. So actually, there is a special weekend for that freshers fair. It's done in the university hall. In my situation, like in my university, it's done in the student union and also the great hall of Aberystwyth University. There are so many different types of clubs and societies, and then some other organizations if you want to enroll there. So for example, clubs and societies, it's better to enroll as early as you can. And they also provide a free 1 or 2 free sessions just to make sure that you have a taster and you know what you will be enrolling to, because they are paid. For some type of clubs and societies, the price is quite low. It might be even £3, £5, and for some others, like kickboxing, it's about £40 for 1 year. I know that because I was trying to enroll there once, and then suddenly coronavirus came and I just couldn't do that. And also you need to pay insurance just to make sure that if something happens to you, you will be kind of insured. And the price, I think, from £2 to £5 for the whole year. So, and it's actually for the whole, all societies you will be enrolling to. And also there will be some other organizations, like the one I met, there was BBC Sesh, Freemasons. Even the Freemasons, I was quite shocked about that. Yes, and just some other, you'll be seeing that.
Yeah, Freshers' Fair also happens at Glyndwr University as well. Usually it takes place in the sports hall, but there's obviously with coronavirus at the moment taking a lot of priority at the moment. We don't know what's actually going on, whether or not it's going to happen at the sports hall or if it's going to be a little bit more socially distanced. But I think what they are doing is they're planning for a Freshers' Fair anyway to take place to some extent. And during this Freshers' Fair, you'll be able to get to meet people who do the different clubs and societies at Glyndwr University. So we do have our own clubs and societies as well at Glyndwr. You'll be able to meet those people during the Freshers' Fair. Local businesses tend to come to the Freshers' Fair as well to promote their local services. Often we see Domino's there and they give you a free pizza slice of some sort. We've also got things like the sports teams as well, I think, who tend to advertise what they're doing as well. I think the main difference between Glyndwr and Aberystwyth as well is that the clubs and societies are all free at Glyndwr University. So you don't actually have to pay to join them, I think. I don't believe there's any that are paid for. I think they're all free. The only thing you do have to pay for, if you're doing a sports team, if you're joining a sports team, I think joining the team itself is free of charge, but the insurance you have to pay for. But if you have the insurance, that covers you on all the sports teams that you are on. But joining the societies, clubs and sports teams are free of charge, but the insurance is an added cost on top of that, and I think that is the case for all of them, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
And also during that Freshers' Week, there are quite a lot of freebies, so make sure you take them.
Take as many freebies as you can, because free stuff for students is always a good idea.
It's always good. It's always a good idea.
Even if they're questionable, just don't question it. You can get some questionable things as freebies sometimes. We've got toilet roll ones.
We've got food and just some other stuff. I don't even remember what was that. I think it's time to talk about town facilities maybe. So in case you were wondering what there are, like what are the things Aberystwyth has, there are quite few supermarkets such as Tesco, Lidl, Morrison. And also there is a shop called CK's just in 5 minutes walk from University Accommodation. And some other places are about 15 minutes walk to town. Also there are some entertainment stuff like clubs and bars. There are quite a lot. And students used to go to socials nearly every night when there was a first term, because every club and society has a specific date in the week to go there, and they just keep on going there and, enjoying. And there are quite some other stuff like facilities in the town. You can just enjoy them and the view itself, because we got to see, and just Constitution Hill has a beautiful view from that. So make sure you go there.
Wrexham has similar things. We have 3 main retail parks. They are specifically called retail parks. There's the Plas Coch Retail Park, which is actually the closest to the main accommodation. You've got the Island Green Shopping Retail Park as well, and you've also got Eagles Meadow. Plas Coch is where you'll find your Sainsbury's and your Aldi, which are very convenient. You will also find the Range there as well, which has an Iceland inside, which is quite convenient for anybody who wants to get a nice fish pie or something. Very nice fish pie, by the way. Highly recommend it. Island Green Shopping Park has a Wilkinson's, which is also very, very handy if you want to go and get some cosmetics and stuff like that. So anybody who's into that kind of stuff, you can get stuff like that. There's also a big Iceland there as well, which is pretty interesting. And Eagles Meadow is where you'll find the Odeon Cinema. So if you want to go for some light entertainment for very cheap, because tickets are only £5 per person at the Odeon at Wrexham, that's in the Eagles Meadow, and that's about 15 to 20 minutes walk as a conservative estimate to the Eagles Meadow from the accommodation as well. But it's not too far away. Everything's pretty much within walking distance. The town centre's very close as well. It's a good 5-10 minute walk from the accommodation as well. And in there you'll find things like Primark, you'll find the Waterstones. You'll also find there's a Wetherspoons there as well. And it's also where you pass the art school for the university as well towards the town. You will also find a train station there, and I've already been talking about trains. There's a train that takes you to a place called Gwersyll on the Borderlands line, and there you'll find a Lidl directly placed next to the platform. So if you want to go to Lidl, take the 5-minute train journey down to Gwersyll, where you'll find a nice Lidl conveniently placed right next to the train station.
That's when the student ambassador comes explaining everything precisely as it should be.
I explain that to everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's fine.
Yeah, you've got quite experience in that.
Yes, I have a lot of
Actually, we
experience
also do
using.
have. Actually, yeah, we also do have two cinemas, one in the town and another one in Aberystwyth Arts Center. And also there are quite some restaurants and just some other things. I again forgot what I wanted to say. But anyway, so make sure also when you just arrive to meet with your flatmates, just to make some networking, to meet with your flatmates, make some friends, and also meet with your classmates because it's quite crucial. You will be studying with classmates for maybe 1 year or maybe more. And with flatmates, you will be living for some time, and you better to make a good contact with them, and also make sure you have their details in like Facebook or Instagram or wherever other place, because you will need that, trust me.
Yeah, that is a very important thing to think about as well, is get to know your flatmates from a socially distanced environment for the first 2 weeks, obviously, because we've got COVID-19 going on at the moment. But then again, just remember, make sure to become friends with your flatmates as well. In my first year, I didn't really make friends with my flatmates, and I didn't really get along with them that well. And it was not an enjoyable year for me in that year at the accommodation. So definitely get to know your flatmates, become friends with them, be nice, be friendly, get to know each other, get along with each other, because those are the people you're going to be spending the most of your time with throughout the year as well. Get to know your classmates as well, so anybody who's on your course, the people that you're basically going to be doing group work and stuff with, because you'll be doing a lot of group work when you're in university as well. So get to know people that you work well with, that you can work with, and you'll get along with when you're doing work, so that things don't absolutely go flop.
Yeah, and in case you're wondering how else you can make friends there, you can make friends in clubs and societies or just in meetings that university has organized. For example, not exactly university, but the student union. They're organizing quite lots of events such as parties or barbecues or like some other things where you can meet lots of people during the first 2 weeks. So just make sure you go there and just enjoy your time being here.
Yeah. There's also at Glyndwr, I don't know if Aberystwyth has something similar to this, but we also have a student council, which allows you to meet people from across the university as well. They're basically elected representatives at the Students' Union. You can meet people there as well, because you can make good friends with them. I've actually made a lot of good friends on student council, being on it myself. So, and again, people at university, they'll be friends. If you become good friends with them, they'll be friends with you for life. So that's also very important to think about as well.
Yeah, we do have actually student union separately, and then Erasmus Society, and then a few other societies that are quite main here. And more people are attracted because we have lots of students from Erasmus, and they make sure that people get connected during the parties and some events. And actually, I like the thing that Erasmus is doing, because they organize twice or maybe even more trips to some other places in the UK. There was a trip to Edinburgh in November for 2 days actually, and then there was supposed to be more trips this year to Amsterdam and to some other areas as well. But since coronavirus, nobody could go there, and it was just cancelled.
Another thing about the Students' Union, get to know the president and the vice president. You would most likely be getting to know them at some point during the year anyway, but definitely get to know them, get to know what they're doing, get to know what they want to do at the SU as well, and what they actually want to do, because they are there to represent you at the university level as students. They are student representatives. They go to a whole host of different meetings across the university, and if there's anything that you want to be done, raise it with them, because they are a positive motive for change. And if they go to the university with something, things can actually change, and things have changed as well at Glyndwr through the use of the president and the vice president. So definitely get to know them. If there's any issues, talk to them about it, because they can change things.
And about coronavirus outbreak, I think it's quite important to mention how hard our universities were working towards that, because they were doing absolutely everything just to make sure students are safe, and also that they will be able to invite students in the September intake. And actually, for those students who are coming to study this year, I think they have made a remote study as of now. By remote, they mean that as of now it will be online, and when it will be safe, students will be able to fly in here, just arrive to Aberystwyth. And also they provide lots of stations with hand sanitizers and also face masks and some other precautions and just healthy measures.
Glyndwr have been doing exactly the same thing. Obviously, coronavirus, it has affected everybody, universities in particular, I think. The education system just as a whole has been affected, really. So if you are coming in September, the universities have all been doing preparations to make sure that you will be able to come to university as safely as possible, because at the end of the day, the health and well-being of the students is of paramount importance. So the universities have done a lot of work in the background, a lot of it, but they have done a lot of work to try and make sure that your coming to university will be as safe as possible to you. And if you are not comfortable with coming to university straight away, then I think you are able to defer your entry until next September as well if you wanted to. But I think there's also the option for online remote learning as well, which may be used on some courses, potentially not on all courses, but it will be used on a few courses if it's there and if it's needed, as well as the accommodation have made a lot of changes to make sure that your commute to the university, to the accommodation, will be safe as well. There's a lot of preparations going on in the background, so please know that there are preparations going on, that what the university wants more than anything is that you are all safe and secure and that you are healthy and everything like that. And they will make sure that it is as safe as possible for you to come to university in September.
And I quite like how Aberystwyth University reacted very fast when the situation has worsened in the UK, because they closed down all the departments quite fast. And also they made sure the whole procedure, like the whole classes, are made online. And they were helping people, students, throughout the whole period of the pandemic. And they were providing also mental health services, some webinars about mental health. So in case you were anxious or nervous or anything, you could talk to someone for free, and just to make sure that you keep your mental health safe.
Yeah, similar things have been going on at Glyndwr as well. Like, for me, I was very, very lucky because I only had online submissions to finish anyway, so I didn't really have anything that needed me to be in university by the time the coronavirus came about. But a lot of the classes were moved online anyway. I still had regular contact with my dissertation supervisor, which was very important for me because I was in the middle of doing my dissertation at the time. I had regular contact with my lecturers still. That was really, really good. We were still able to contact them through email and stuff like that. I did hear about a few issues on some courses, but overall I think there's been a lot of communication between the students and the staff, and they're all in between. The university brought in a lot of different procedures as well, such as a no detriment policy, where if you'd already passed the year, then you're not going to fail, basically. So there's a lot of things the university did to make sure that people were supported as much as possible during the coronavirus outbreak.
Yes, and even our exams were online. For my department, specifically business department, it was 24-hour open window, and we could do the whole exam within 24 hours, each of them.
That's good. I think all the exams at Glyndwr just got cancelled, but I don't know entirely. Not entirely.
Yeah,
sure.
it actually depends on the departments, I think. Because for me, it's mainly like essay based, so we needed to write it down. It's not like performing or doing something like that. Yeah, I think on this note, we can just complete our session.
So thank you very much for having me on. It was very entertaining. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for coming here and just explaining more things about Wrexham University. It was nice meeting you and talking to you in this session.
Yeah, that was very nice to talk to you as well.
Yeah, so I think this information was quite useful, and you guys will be taking as much information from this as you can. And if you guys have any questions about anything else at all, you can just type down in the comment section and I will be answering them. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and ring the bell for more videos in the future.
Yeah, and if you want to check out my channel and just have a look at the absolutely crazy things that I do on there, I'm sure a link will be down in the description below for you guys. But if you want to have a look at it, the channel name is InstaSim. Have a look at the crazy things that go on there because it's absolute cesspit sometimes, honestly.
I will make sure to link it down. Don't worry about that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and guys, don't forget to subscribe to his channel as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.